Good morning and welcome to our Kids Church Online Saturday Storytime. I wonder if you've ever tried to build something. Perhaps you've tried to build a tower. I've got some cups here to build my tower. I wonder how high I can build it. Oh, it's going to wobble. How much higher can I get it? Whee, it's going to fall. So I can build my tower so high, but eventually my tower falls over and I have to start building all over again. You might have some building blocks or some things you can build a tower with at home. Perhaps you could have a go later and perhaps you could see how high you can build your tower. I had to start my tower all over again when it fell over. And our story this morning is about starting again. It's about a new beginning. It's about God's new beginning. In the beginning, the new beginning, there was a baby. God chose Mary to become the mother of his only son. The baby was called Jesus. Mary and her husband Joseph looked after Jesus. He grew and became a child, and then an adult. And when Jesus was about 30 years old, he went to the river where his cousin John was baptizing people. John baptized Jesus. He went down into the water, and John lifted him back up into the light. And a dove came down from heaven close to Jesus. Then a voice came from heaven and said, "You are my own dear son, and I am pleased with you." After that, Jesus began his work to put God's world and its people back together again, to repair what had been spoiled. He began by telling stories. His stories were like seeds, but not seeds in the soil, seeds in people's hearts. The stories grew inside people and helped them learn more about God's love, more about what God is like, and more about God's great rescue plan to mend the world. What else did Jesus do? He challenged the darkness. Jesus said, "I am the light of the world." And Jesus came close to people, especially the ones nobody else cared about. When people came close to Jesus, they changed. They saw things differently. They could do things they couldn't do before. They were healed. Blind people could see, and lame people could walk. What else did Jesus do? He told people how much God cared for them. He cares for every bird that flies and every sparrow that falls. And if God cares for the birds of the air, said Jesus, then be sure he cares for you too. Jesus once showed his friends how much God cared. They and thousands of others were listening to Jesus talking about God. It was late and everyone was hungry. Jesus took 5 loaves and 2 fishes. He blessed them and told his friends to hand the food out to the people. There was enough to feed everybody, and there were even 12 baskets full left over. The more people got to know Jesus, the more they came close to him, and the more they knew deep peace on the inside. Finally, Jesus knew that the only way to repair what has been broken was to go back to Jerusalem for one last time. And Jesus let himself be stretched out wide to be killed on a cross. It was the only way to bring God close to people and his people close to each other. His body was put in a tomb, but the most amazing thing is that 3 days later, people saw Jesus alive again. And now anybody who wants to can come close to God. Anyone can be part of God's new beginning, and anyone can be filled with God's light, just as Jesus was always full of light. God did all this because his beautiful world had been spoiled. God did all this to clear up the mess that people had made of his gift, starting with you and me. And God did all this at Easter. But it's a story that began with a baby at Christmas, and even long before that. I wonder which part of the story you liked the best. I wonder which part of the story you think is the most important. And I wonder which part of the story speaks especially to you today. As we've heard, when Jesus died, it wasn't the end of the story. He rose to new life. Something amazing had happened. Perhaps there's things that you'd like a chance to start again with. Maybe you've had an argument with somebody in your house while you've been together a lot. Or maybe you've been trying to do some schoolwork or drawing a picture that hasn't really gone right. Just think about those for a moment. Now I'm going to say a prayer, and if you want to make it your prayer, you can say Amen at the end after me. Dear God, thank you that you give us the chance to start again. Please help us to make a fresh start today. Amen. The Bible tells us in the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 5 verse 17, it says, anyone who belongs to Christ is a new person. The past is forgotten and everything is new. That's amazing, isn't it? So our craft this morning is thinking about the different parts of the story that we've heard. You can download the template or you can draw your own pictures. I've coloured mine in from the template. And perhaps you'd like to write on the back of your cross, Jesus is alive, as we celebrate Easter Sunday tomorrow. And you can put it in your window so that everybody can see. So we hope you've enjoyed our Kids Church Online story this morning, and we hope that you'll be able to join us again next Saturday at 10 o'clock for another story. So a blessing for us all as we go. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord turn his face toward you and give you peace. Amen.